The last star died with a sigh. Alina Miles stood at the edge of eternity, her gloved hand pressed against the cold glass of the horizon's observation deck. Beyond it, the void stretched out in all directions, a velvet blanket pierced no longer by starlight, just blackness. The universe was dead. No galaxies, no planets, no sunrises, just her. One human, suspended in a ship designed to witness the end. Her breath fogged the glass, and she whispered, "I didn't think it would feel so quiet." The ship answered with silence. Most systems had gone into deep idle centuries ago to conserve power. The AI had shut down, the crew long since gone, some into stasis, others into death. Alina had remained awake by choice. Someone had to see it through. Someone had to remember. The last recorded signal from the galaxy's outer edge came 12,000 years ago. No more stars. We're going dark. She blinked back the tears she'd sworn never to shed. They still came, even after 2 millennia of loneliness. Then, just as she turned from the window, something flickered, a point of light. Not from a star, but within the ship. She spun around, her hand darting toward the holster at her hip. The emergency plasma sidearm hadn't been used in centuries, but it still hissed as she drew it. The flicker intensified a soft glow, like moonlight filtered through water. And then it took shape. A figure, humanoid, luminous, eyes like twin nebulas. A woman, yet not. Made of data and memory, and something older than time. "Alina Miles," the figure said softly. "You've lasted longer than any of them." Alina didn't lower her weapon. "Who the hell are you?" "I am what's left of us," the figure replied. "The echo of humanity, stretched across dying frequencies. I watched you. All this time you've carried the weight. Alone?" Alina's jaw clenched. "So, you came to watch me die too?" The woman smiled sadly, gently. "No. I came to ask if you still believe in life." "I believed in a lot of things," Alina muttered. "Most of them died screaming. But you're still here." The figure drifted closer, untouched by gravity. "And that means something. We've reached the end, but there's a chance. The tiniest spark. To go back." Elena's hand wavered. Back. Time travel was a dead theory when Earth still had oceans. "Time is not a line," the figure said. "It's a memory. And you, Alina, are humanity's last living memory." The lights above flickered. The ship groaned metal stress from something outside. Alina could feel it now, a presence. The cold pressing inward like claws. "What is that?" she whispered. "The entropy," the figure said grimly. "It feeds on endings. It's drawn to the last light, the last voice. That's you, and you want me to. What? Go back and stop the universe from dying? No, we cannot stop entropy forever, but we can rewrite the moment it began to win. We can give the universe a second chance." The sound of tearing metal echoed through the deck. A sudden tremor threw Alina sideways. Red lights flared to life as the emergency systems screamed for attention. Impact detected. Outer hull breach imminent. The computer croaked, its voice warped, ancient, tired. Alina grabbed a railing, heart pounding. "Even if I believed you, how the hell do I travel back?" The figure extended a hand. "Through memory, through will. I'll show you." "Why me?" she asked, choking on fear. "Why not someone smarter, someone stronger? Because you stayed, you endured, you remembered." Alina looked down at her scarred hands, her body aged beyond its years by stasis breaks and cryothaw. Her joints ached, her mind frayed, but her heart still beat. Another jolt rocked the ship. The viewport cracked, lines crawling like veins through glass. The darkness outside pressed closer, hungry and inevitable. The entity floated toward her, light intensifying. "I can carry you," she whispered. "But only if you believe it's worth carrying." For a second, Alina saw it visions, not from her memory, but from possibility. A galaxy reborn, new stars blooming, children laughing under alien suns. Chiron, a name she didn't know yet, reaching for her hand with trust, sacrifice, love, resistance. The floor split beneath her feet. The hull gave way. Alina jumped, not downward, not into space, but into the light, and the universe rewound with her. Alina woke to birdsong, not artificial, real birds, real sunlight, real air. She gasped, her lungs seizing on oxygen thick with moisture and life. The sky above her shimmered in pinks and golds. Twin suns peeked over the horizon of a sprawling, alien valley carpeted in crystalline flowers. Towering spires of violet stone spiraled upward, each inscribed with symbols glowing faintly. She sat up slowly, her fingers trembling as they touched the grass beneath her, soft, cool, humming with energy. It wasn't Earth, but it was alive. The figure stood nearby, less radiant now, but still shimmering with that ghost-like grace. She knelt beside Alina, offering a hand. "You made it," the woman said softly. "Where are we?" Alina asked, voice rough with disbelief. "A memory. Not yours, ours. A collective echo of what was. One of the first turning points in the great collapse." Alina stared into the distance. On the far edge of the valley stood a city, alien in shape, but oddly familiar streets, woven in spirals, structures breathing with organic curves. Movement flickered inside, like people or something close. "I'm not in my own body," Alina realized. "I feel younger. You are. This is the physical echo of your soul, at its sharpest, when your choices matter most. From here, you intervene." Alina blinked. "Intervene? How?" The entity stepped back. "This planet's Earth Prime. It's where the Paxari began, the Convergence War. Their empire rose with blood and fire, triggering centuries of extinction across half the universe. But they didn't do it alone." She pointed to the city. "That's where humanity made contact. We offered tech, weapons, alliances. One choice changed everything." Elena's breath caught. "You're saying this was our fault?" "No," the figure said, "but we enabled it. A mistake, a hand offered in trust. To the wrong mind." Footsteps echoed behind them. Alina turned fast, heart thudding. A tall alien approached, humanoid, but distinctly otherworldly. Skin like silver-brushed marble. His eyes shone gold. His hair was braided and streaked with copper threads. He wore armor that seemed grown, not forged, regal, measured. He stopped before her, hand to chest. "I am Chiron, protector of the memory flame. You came from the sky." The name struck her like lightning. Kairon. She stood slowly. "I'm Alina. I came to understand. You wear the shape of the first human emissary," he said with curiosity. "But your eyes carry storms." Alina didn't know what to say. He was not just history, he was alive before her. She remembered his death already, his sacrifice. But to him, she was a stranger. Or perhaps something even more dangerous. She forced, her voice steady. "You're about to make a choice. One that opens a path to destruction." Chiron frowned. "The Treaty of Flame?" "Our council meets tonight. We are to ally with the Terrans." "You must not," Alina said firmly. "They will offer power in exchange for unity, but the unity will end with conquest." His expression darkened. "You accuse your own kind. I accuse history. I've seen how it unfolds." He studied her, thoughtful. "You carry no weapon. You radiate pain. And yet, something in you feels like truth." Alina stepped closer. "Chiron, I saw your end. You died trying to stop a war that began with peace." Something shifted in his face. Doubt, but also trust. Deep inside him, something resonated. "You speak of fate," he said, "but fate is not so easily undone." "Then change the flame," she whispered. "Burn a different fire." Suddenly, the sky pulsed with light. Chiron turned. "The Terran ship arrives." In the distance, a sleek human cruiser pierced the clouds, white and gold, diplomatic colors. It descended toward the city. its presence regal, beautiful, and entirely wrong. Alina grabbed Chiron's arm. You must refuse them. If I do, my people may view me as weak. The Paxari have hungered for Terran alliance for decades. Then show them strength another way. He looked down at her hand on his arm. How do I know you're not a trick? A planted voice from a rival faction. Because no one lies with eyes that watched the universe die, she said. Her voice cracked, but her gaze didn't waver. Kairon inhaled, then slowly removed a glowing sigil from around his neck. It pulsed red, then dimmed to violet. This is the vote stone, he said. The ruling council listens only to this bearer. And what will you tell them? He held the stone to the light. That we do not need Terran power to be strong. That we light our own flame. Alina's breath caught. Then the future can change. Chiron smiled faintly. Then let us see if it burns brighter than before. Behind them, the Terran ship landed with regal ceremony. Ahead, the night promised war. Or something better. The council chamber blazed with firelight and tension. Chiron stood at the center, cloaked in his people's ceremonial armor, shoulders adorned with flame-hued feathers, the sigil stone clasped tight in his palm. Alina stood beside him, draped in borrowed silk that shimmered like starlight. The Paxari Council of Flame, a circle of 12 ancient and wise leaders, sat towering above them on spiraled platforms. Their eyes, glowing softly, bore down on the pair like twin suns. Across from them, the Terran delegation entered. 3 humans in pristine silver uniforms. Diplomats, soldiers, emissaries of Earth's last expansionist fleet. They bowed with calculated grace. One of them, a woman with sharp eyes and a colder smile, stepped forward. Counselors, she said smoothly. On behalf of the Terran coalition, we extend our open hand to the Paxari. Together, we can shape a future free from darkness. Alina fought to stay silent. The woman's voice sounded like a blade wrapped in silk. She remembered her from old records commander, Alex Vorn, the one who brokered dozens of first contact treaties. The same ones that later turned into planetary occupations. Chiron's voice rang out. Your offer is noted, but we have questions. A murmur rippled through the chamber. Paxari are proud, said one elder, his eyes narrowed. You would question our honored guests. I would seek clarity before surrendering sovereignty, Chiron said firmly. Our history deserves it. Alina felt the eyes of the Terrans settle on her. Alex Vorn tilted her head. And who is this? She asked, gesturing toward Alina. She wears your robes, yet bears the look of Terran design. Alina stepped forward. My name is Alina Miles. I'm not part of the coalition. I'm from beyond your stars. Another off-worlder, the council hissed. She came to warn us, Chiron said. Of what follows if we align with Earth. Alex chuckled. You allow superstition to interfere with politics now. Not superstition, Alina said, holding her voice steady. Memory. I've seen what your treaties bring. Colonies. Yes, but, followed by conquest. Culture stripped. Voice erased. You call it peace, but you sell chains. A sharp silence fell. Alex's smile vanished. You're not from here, she said. Or now, are you? Chiron tensed beside her. Alina didn't answer directly. I know how this ends, she said. If you form this alliance, your planet will become a fortress, a base, then a battleground. And in the end, it burns. Your people burn. Enough, the eldest counselor said. Prophecy does not guide the flame. Truth does. Evidence does. Chiron raised the sigil stone. Then let us decide the truth, here and now. He pressed the stone into the central flame, a sacred act. The fire surged upward, flaring blue, then violet. Counselors, he called. Those who wish to reject Earth's alliance, let your fire rise. One by one, the counselors placed their own stones into the fire. 3 burned violet, 2 hesitated, 7 stayed silent. Chiron turned to them. Will you vote silence into history's blood? We fear division, one whispered. You should. Fear erasure, more, Alina said. Then dash another stone, glowed violet. 4.alyx. Vorn stepped forward suddenly. If this is a test of loyalty, she said, her voice tightening, know that the Terran fleet is not far. Refuse us, and Earth will view it as betrayal. Chiron's voice was ice. So you offer peace with one hand, and war with the other. That's how your people survive, Alex said. No, Alina interrupted. That's how yours fall. For a long moment, nothing moved. Even the flames seemed to hold their breath. Then, an elder counselor, one whose feathers were almost silver with age, rose. I once walked the moons of Sol, she said. I drank from Earth's rivers. I loved a human, but I watched what came after. The change. The claiming. I vote with the flame. Her stone flared violet. 5.a. Final hand reached forward, trembling, uncertain, but it dropped a sixth majority. The fire roared, violet and gold, defying the dark. Chiron turned. To Alex. Your offer is declined. The Terran emissary said nothing. She simply tapped her wristpad. A red light blinked, and then the ground trembled. From the distant skies, streaks of fire descended, ships, Terran dropships. I warned you, she said, her voice like steel. We don't ask twice. Alina grabbed Chiron's arm. We need to run. No, he said, pulling free. We need to fight. The first Terran blast turned a temple into molten glass. Alina barely pulled Chiron down as the concussive wave cracked through the air. Stone and flame rained down around them. Screams echoed through the city as Paxari civilians scattered, unarmed and unprepared. The Terran fleet had wasted no time. Above, sleek warships blocked out the twin suns. Dropships poured from their bellies like metallic vultures. Troopers in exo-armor descended on jets of fire, weapons raised, no hesitation in their march. This isn't a skirmish, Alina gasped. They came ready for extermination. Chiron's eyes blazed. Then we give them a war they never expected. He raised his forearm and activated a crystalline communicator embedded in his armor. All guardians of the flame, converge on the Plaza of Truth. Defend the city, defend the people. Crackling affirmations came from every corner of the channel. Paxari warriors fewer than 100 began mobilizing, armed with weapons carved from living stone and plasma-charged arrows. Ancient, impossibly outmatched, but willing. Come, Chiron said, gripping Alina's wrist. We must reach the Nexus core. If they destroy that, Zereth Prime dies forever. They sprinted through, collapsing archways and fire-choked alleys. Alina couldn't stop shaking. Not from fear, though there was plenty of that, but from rage. This was the moment. The turning point. She had tried to change it, but war still came. A Terran trooper stepped into their path, rifle raised. Leaped first, striking with a blade of white-hot energy. The soldier fell with a metallic thud. Alina grabbed the dropped weapon. No more diplomacy, she muttered. They've made their choice. Explosions chased them across bridges and shattered towers. Civilians huddled in temple ruins. Chiron stopped more than once to help them up, to push rubble off children, to lead them toward safety. That was who he was even when death flew overhead. At last, they reached the Nexus Cora, towering crystal spire buried deep beneath the council chambers. It pulsed with violet light, humming with the lifeblood of the planet. It wasn't just a power source. It was memory, culture, history. The spirit of Excerpt and the Terrans were already there. A squad of soldiers had breached the outer sanctum. One placed a plasma charge at the base of the core. Another aimed a pulse cannon at the spire's apex. Kairon roared and charged. Alina followed, opening fire. She moved like a fury, memories of old combat drills long forgotten surfacing in her. Bones. 2 soldiers dropped. A third turned too late. Chiron's blade found his chest. but the one with the detonator pressed the trigger. The explosion didn't come. Instead, the floor beneath him surged upward, vines of living stone slamming him into the ceiling. One of the Paxari guardians had arrived, an elder woman glowing with the same energy as the core itself. "You will not silence us," she hissed. The chamber shook. "They're collapsing the outer structure," Alina shouted. "They'll bury us with it." Chiron turned to her, his eyes locked. "Then go." "What? No. You are not meant to die here, Alina. You are meant to remember." She shook her head violently. "We changed this together." He stepped closer, pressing something into her hand. A shard of the Nexus core worm, pulsing with memory. "If I fall, this survives." Tears burned her eyes. "Don't do this," Chiron smiled gently. "You came to save the future. That means someone has to hold the line in the past." Another explosion rocked the ground. The Nexus roof began to cave. A rift opened behind Elena, glowing like the figure's light from before. "A portal, a way out." The voice echoed again, soft and strong. "Alina, it's time." She looked back one last time. Chiron was already facing the entrance, blade drawn, blood on his armor. Terran shadows poured through the smoke. He didn't look back. He knew she'd go. She had to. Alina ran toward the portal, grief tearing through her chest. She clutched the shard tighter. Just before she vanished, she screamed his name. Then light swallowed her whole. She fell through memory, through time. Stars passed around her, but none of them stayed. She landed hard on metal. She was back. The horizon's deck, cold and flickering, greeted her like a grave. But something was different. The stars were back. Outside the viewport, one by one, stars had returned. New constellations, new life. Not the universe she remembered, but one rewritten. She rose slowly, heart hammering. The Nexus shard pulsed. In her hand, his voice echoed in her memory. Someone has to hold the line. He had, and now, it was her turn to keep it burning. Alina stood in stunned silence as the stars bloomed around her. She was back on the horizon, same deck, same worn boots, same aching heart. But outside, where once there had been only darkness, the void shimmered with new stars. Bright ones, blue ones, young ones. It was no longer the end. Her breath fogged the glass again, just like before. But this time, she wasn't alone. The glowing figure returned, stepping from the shadows like she'd never left. Her light was steadier now, warmer, less like memory, and more like presence. "You did it," she said, voice soft. Alina turned, tears already streaking her cheeks. "I don't understand. The universe was gone. I watched it die. And now you've watched it begin," the figure said. "Your actions reshaped a critical fracture. The Paxari never allied with Earth's war machine. The Convergence War never started. The entropy was delayed, and the timeline rerouted. But Chiron," Alina whispered, "he died, didn't he?" The figure nodded solemnly. "He burned so his people could live. And you carried his memory forward. That was always the key." Alina clutched the shard of the Nexus, still humming in her palm. It felt like a heartbeat. His heartbeat. She stared out again at the stars. "So what now? Am I stuck here, watching this universe play out while I grow old alone?" The figure tilted her head. "You are not alone. Look closer." Alina squinted. Beyond the horizon, a small fleet shimmered into viewships she didn't recognize. Not Terran, not Paxari. Something entirely new. They hailed her. A chime rang out across the deck as the ship's systems long dormant sprang back to life. Lights flickered. Engines hummed. Even the AI's voice returned, this time smoother, less tired. "Commander Miles," it said, "you are being hailed by the vessel New Dawn. Do you wish to respond?" Alina stepped forward, stunned. "Open channel." The screen blinked on. Face appeared. It wasn't human, not quite. A hybrid smooth, gray-tinted skin, Paxery eyes, human features, and when it smiled with Chiron's calm, Commander Alina Miles. Though being said, "We are the children of flame. Your memory kept us alive." Elena's heart stopped. We're from what you saved," it said. "From the unity that rose after war was avoided. From the legacy you and Chiron sparked." She pressed her hand to her chest, breath shallow. "You've been waiting for me." The hybrid nodded. "Time flows strangely. But to us, you are a myth, the watcher, the last and the first." "I'm no myth," she said softly. "Maybe not," it replied, "but you are our beginning." Behind the figure, more faces appeared, diverse, smiling. Children, scientists, explorers, not conquerors. "Hope, you said entropy would come eventually." Alina murmured to the glowing figure beside her. "Did I stop it forever?" "No," the figure replied. "But you delayed it long enough for something new to grow. A universe with a chance. A future built on memory, not fear." A soft ping drew Elena's attention back to the control console. The Horizon systems offered her a Corsan invitation to join the fleet of the future. She glanced one last time at the Nexus shard. It pulsed once, then dimmed, as if releasing its final breath into her fingers. "Will I remember him?" she asked the figure. "Always," the figure said, placing a hand on her shoulder. "But you must now live forward, for him, for them." Alina nodded slowly. Then she spoke to the console. "Engage course. Join the new dawn." The ship thrummed. Beneath her feet, warmer than it had ever felt. Outside, the stars moved, not drifting, but dancing, as if the universe had taken a breath and now exhaled life across every corner. The glowing figure began to fade. "Wait," Alina said. Turning, the woman paused. "Who are you really?" Alina asked. The figure smiled. "I'm what happens when 1,000 lives remember the same flame." And then she was gone. The horizon turned slowly toward the fleet, toward the future. Alina didn't cry this time. She sat in the captain's chair, fingers brushing controls that no longer felt cold. Somewhere, in her bones, she felt laughter, Chiron's voice, a city of spirals, a people who had chosen hope over fire, and she whispered to the stars, "Let this be the beginning." The universe, impossibly, answered with light.